Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's first video during Weather Weekend. For today's first video, as always on a Saturday, we're going to have a detailed look at weather for the coming week. Later on, we will have the 19th Christmas update. And for this one, we're going to use the CFS and the GFS model together. Christmas coming into the time frame of the GFS model right now, so we'll be running them together just tonight. And then after that, we'll discard the CFS and we'll move on to the GFS exclusively. But more on that tonight. That'll be around 7 o'clock on the Christmas updates page. So weekend forecast on the way. I'll get on with it in a second. Before I get on with that, just say about the ads. There's links, articles, and all pages. Have a browse, visits, and click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you're going to be helping us to pay for our website, and thanks so much for doing that. There's also video ads, most pages, which own the content when you watch a close look again, does help to pay for gas. So and the Chris shop remains open, so you've still got shopping to get. You've still got time to get shopping from Amazon between now and Christmas. Time's getting on, so don't leave it much longer, but they're very quick with postage, so you've got any Christmas shop to do at Amazon. Just click the green button that says Christmas shop, it takes you to our Christmas shop page, and then from there you go through the Amazon banners, go to Amazon, because you've gone from Gazwiz to Amazon, we get a review fee on the things that you're buying, and a big thank you to everybody for doing that. Been a big success again this year, so thank you to everybody for doing their Christmas shopping at Amazon via Gazwiz. Websites using for weekend broadcasts coming from theweatherout.com and weathercentral.de. You can find a link to both websites on the links page. And just to sort of say what's going to be happening before I get on with the detail. So it's starting off quite damp at the moment. And we're going to have a bit of a battle taking place this week. So it's a very complicated forecast actually. From around Wednesday onwards, really low confidence in this forecast. And the reason that is the high pressure is building over Scandinavia from the latter stages of the week, but the Atlantic is trying to stage a bit of an onslaught on us from the west. So the two air masses, the high over Scandinavia, the Atlantic flow, are sort of backing it out, and which one gets the ascendancy is going to determine the weather that we get at the end of the week and into next weekend. So I'll go with a detail for you right now. We're starting off with a radar pitch. We've got a few showers up in the northwest Scotland, but actually much of the north is dry. The best weather today is in the north. In the south, we've had a lot of light patchy rain this morning, but you notice heavier rain is coming in towards the southwest of England and South Wales now, and that's going to be pushing northwards and eastwards across southern and eastern parts of England and Wales through the course of this afternoon. So here's the static pressure chart today. It's still Atlantic driven. We've got low pressure around Iceland, we've got high pressure through much of the continent, and the flow's coming in from the west-southwest, and it is a mild flow as well. So the north gets the best weather today. We've got bright skies and sunny spells, a few showers up there with these westerly winds. It's a little bit cooler than we've had it recently, but still okay for temperatures really at around 9 or 10 Celsius. Further south, it's milder than that. Temperature could be up to 13 degrees this afternoon, 55 Fahrenheit. Very mild for the 10th of December, but we've got that weather front that's pepping up as I speak in the southwest, and that's going to bring cloud and rain to many southern parts of the country through the course this afternoon, getting up towards the Midlands, parts of East Anglia as well, and some of that rain will be quite heavy. So very mild in the south, still mild but a little bit cooler up in the north. That rain shouldn't linger on too long into the night, so we start off the evening quite wet in the southeast, but it'll go away to the east of us quite quickly, and then clearer skies will edge back in from the north and the west. So by the end of the night, we should all be mostly dry and clear. It's going to be a colder night than we've had recently. We've had some very mild nights over the past 2 or 3, but tonight will be colder. Could just get low enough for touches of ground frost in rural areas in the north, with temperatures going down 2 or 3 degrees. More generally, we're going to be around 5 or 6. So that's not too bad, really, for a December night, but it will feel cooler compared to what we've been used to. We might also get a few dense patches of fog developing. They're most likely in the south, where we've had all of the rain today. Things might turn misty and foggy in particularly rural areas by the morning. However, Sunday looks quite a nice day. We've got this ridge through the country. It's quite transient, but it is building there through the country. So it looks a fairly decent day on Sunday. May start off with some mist and fog down in the south, and maybe touch of ground frost in rural areas up in the north. But generally it's going to be a decent day with sunny spells coming through. A few showers left around northern and western parts of Scotland, but more or less dry for most parts of the country. Temperatures will be cooler at around, say, 5 to 10 degrees, but still probably a little bit above average for the time of year. It's going to feel very pleasant in the light winds and the sunshine. A nice day for doing your Christmas shopping perhaps tomorrow. Then we go through into Monday, and we're bringing another weather system in from the Atlantic. So we may have some fairly dense and widespread patches of fog across parts of the country, particularly maybe in the south on Monday morning. There might be frost as well. Temperatures going to be very perilously close to frost level, so maybe frost and fog to begin with on Monday. I think that should all go quite quickly as we bring cloud and outbreaks of mostly light and patchy rain into the west, and then that spreads eastwards through the course of the afternoon. Although eastern areas, Lincolnshire, East Anglia, South East, will probably stay mostly dry through daylight hours. It might brighten up actually in the west by the end of the afternoon. Generally quite a cold day in the north and the east, with temperatures around 6 or 7 degrees at best. That's about average for the time of year, but because it's been so mild, it will feel quite cold. In the southwest, though, up behind this rain band, it's going to get mild again, with temperatures pushing back up to around 12 or 13 degrees, perhaps parts of Cornwall, into the mid-50s Fahrenheit. Tuesday, so what happens then is that weather front sort of becomes stuck across the country as pressure is beginning to rise, notice, up over Scandinavia. So I think the weather front will be dying a death across the country on Tuesday, but it'll have a lot of cloud with it. And in the morning, there'll still be drizzly bits and pieces of light and showery rain, but most of the rain with the weather front will die out, but I think we will keep lots of cloud going through into Tuesday afternoon. By the end of the day, another weather system might bring more persistent rain in towards Ireland. Temperatures generally somewhere, say, around 7 to 11 degrees, so still a bit milder than average, but it probably won't feel that pleasant under the grey skies and light and drizzly rain. And then we're into Wednesday, and things are getting more complicated then. We've got this high pressure building in over Scandinavia. Now, if the Atlantic was a little bit weaker, if it wasn't being played by these westerlies and strong jets coming across the Atlantic, this could be quite interesting. With this high pressure building over Scandinavia, it would probably have been enough to turn the winds into the east and bring us a bit of run up towards Christmas. However, the Atlantic is not really easing off, so what we've got instead is a battle, and we may finish up in a little bit of a no man's land before this high pressure eventually sinks down into Central Europe. However, for Wednesday, I think we're going to find cloud and rain spreading into the west, so that could be quite heavy, but probably grinding to a halt across Scotland, parts of Northern Ireland, down through Northern England, Wales and southwestern England, so it could be quite wet there. For the Midlands, eastern parts of England, and it is on a bit of a knife edge, just whether you get the rain or stay dry, but I think east areas probably tend to stay mostly dry through the course of Wednesday. Temperatures probably somewhere, say, around 7 to 12 degrees Celsius. And the battle continues then as we go through into Thursday. That high pressure is beginning to slip down, notice, from Scandinavia in towards the Baltic Sea, but still close enough to be influencing the weather across eastern parts of the country. It's pulling a lot of cold air into Central Europe as well at the end of the week. We've got this low pressure out to the west, which is trying to bring these westerly winds through. Whenever you're in this kind of situation, I'm off on a bit of a tangent, doesn't really matter to weekend broadcast, but whenever you're in this kind of situation, it's always on a knife edge as to what's going to happen. The only real safe direction for us, wind direction for us in terms of keeping it mild, is west or southwesterly. When the winds go into the south or southeast like this, there'll often be cold air over Central Europe that is threatening to edge into the western part of Europe. So southerly winds, although they normally are quite mild, they're not really that safe a direction for us in terms of keeping it mild, because they can very quickly back into the southeast and start to drag colder air from Central Europe. For Thursday though, we have outbreaks of rain still in the west. Eastern areas probably staying dry. That rain might progress through into eastern parts of the country during the course of Thursday afternoon. Temperatures maybe a little bit cooler, but still mild at around 7 to 10 degrees Celsius. And then this particular run of the GFS actually has this high pressure winning out as it sinks into central parts of Europe on Friday. So that starts to turn the winds into the southeast, which is colder. However, other model runs are not agreeing with this solution. They want to keep things milder. So it really is in the realm of speculation by Friday as to what's going to happen. If we go with this particular run of the GFS, we probably find that band of rain weakening and dying out through the course of Friday morning, with brighter sky but also colder air pushing into eastern parts of the country. So temperatures in the east perhaps just 6 or 7 degrees. In the northwest, still probably quite mild at around 10 Celsius. Then next weekend, the GFS model has the high pressure dominating, sitting just to the eastern part of the country. It's moved out of Scandinavia, but it's sitting across Central Europe, bringing in these light east to southeasterly winds. The upper air temperatures are fairly mild. You would look at that and think it's a mild weekend, but have a look at the low level air. This is telling you what the dew points are doing, a mere reflection of moisture in the atmosphere on the surface. Notice how bitterly cold it is across many central parts of Europe under that high pressure, big freeze going on there. And some of that very cold air is certainly being pushed in across England and Wales. So if we was to go with that scenario for the weekend, we would have a cold weekend. Wouldn't be any snow, but it would be very dry and very cold, potentially, with temperatures going down at night as low as -6, -7 Celsius. However, I have to emphasise that other model runs are bringing in a westerly over the weekend, or a southwesterly, and keeping things largely on the mild side, still with rain in the northwest. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out at the end of the week and into the weekend. But the possibility certainly is there for next weekend for some pretty cold weather, and that's particularly so for England and Wales. Remember, it's dry air though, so there won't be any snow. Finally, have a look at charts and weather outlook. So there's the rain in the south today, but north, you're going to have a lot of dry weather. Best weather will be in the north with sunny spells coming through. Certainly looks a nice day, most parts of the country. Decent sunshine, but it will be a little bit cooler. More rain coming in from the west as we go through into Monday. The east probably staying mostly dry. Fairly cool day in the north and the east, but milder in the south and the west. And then Wednesday looks like has some, or Tuesday I should say, looks like has some rain in the north and west. Elsewhere it's showing sunshine coming through. I would suspect there'll probably be more in way of cloud around on Tuesday than that's suggesting. It all gets very uncertain through into Wednesday. Could be further cloud and showery rain, especially so in the north and the west. And then Thursday and Friday, confidence is falling, but this is suggesting that colder air begins to seep in from the continent, so temperatures are beginning to lower just down to 6-7 degrees, particularly so for the south and the east. So it is a complicated forecast coming up. In summary, we're going to have a mild, certainly mild for most of the period. There'll be rain at times, particularly so in the north and the west. The east tending to get the driest of the weather. Temperatures, as I say, on the mild side generally. Right at the end of the week, we might start to bring in colder air from the continent. And if that was to come off, next weekend could actually be really quite cold down in the southeast, with temperatures by day probably struggling to get above freezing, and by night there'd be some hard night frost. But the other side of that is that it might be significantly milder, with rain at times in the north and the west at the end of the week and into next weekend. So just got to wait and see how that pans out. Right, come back later on for the 19th Christmas update, but that's all for now, and thanks for watching.